Alright, welcome to the Peak Impact Mentorship, your personal partner of growth. If you're here for the very first time, I give you a warm welcome and I welcome you in 2020 to make sure that your growth is not halt anywhere in between. What you can do immediately is subscribe to our channel now and turn on the notification. And if you had been coming regularly, we are so happy to see you again and so happy to see you growing and collaborating with you. Now, this talk which I am giving you today is a series of talk. The first talk we conducted close to 10 days back, in which I was talking about mistakes we make about a mistake. And in that I covered 5 points. So I'll just do a recap small, but if you're here for the very first time, what you should do is go to the part 1 also first. Once you go to part 1, for you, digesting the part 2 will be easier. Alright, so that link of part 1 will be given below, so nothing to worry. It's nothing like interconnected. You can jump into today's and then complete it later on. So in last part, what I covered was 5 different mistakes which we can cover. Just to recap, the first mistake we covered was avoiding personal responsibility. And I have covered a detailed thing, so I'll not go further. Second mistake which a person does is he doesn't build a leadership team. He relies too much on his self-talent. Third biggest mistake we all do is we possess a limiting attitude. As a matter of fact, I have conducted one of the courses in this topic that is also available. I'll put that link also in the YouTube. That link was on positive attitude, move ahead with possibility thinking. And then fourth one was the biggest error which most of the leader does is they want to treat everybody same. It is not possible, folks. If somebody is really performing, he needs a separate treatment, he needs separate reward. And this is a big mistake which most of the leaders try to do. They try to make everybody happy, not possible. And this I'll cover more detail in today's talk also. And the last mistake which I covered was focusing on the problems. And I told you, if you focus on problem, there's nothing which can happen in the world. Now it doesn't mean that you close your eyes to the problem. There was an ad long time back in which they showed that ad goes like this. Everybody sitting in the bedroom, in the sofa room, and there was a television, in front television going on, and there was a big elephant sitting in the drawing room. And everybody was pretending as if there's no elephant. So they were all rotating around. So we're not talking about that. What we're talking about is, if there is a problem, if there's an elephant in the room, we have to really fix it. But many times the elephant is not in the room, it's an imaginary elephant which we have to worry about. If there is a genuine elephant existing, we have to do. So that is what I covered in the part 1. Today I brought another 5 to 6 points and I'll keep it very short and very sweet. And as usual, you will need a worksheet for it. If you have not got the worksheet, immediately contact the coach who has sent you this link, or else note down this number and WhatsApp me for the worksheet. 7019253453. Immediately WhatsApp me for the worksheet. I will send you. And before you send, please tell me your name. How did you came across our channel? So that I can send you and I know where did you got our contact. I can give you the link right away. So now let's go further. So today, the mistakes which we are going to talk about, the first mistake which I'll talk about is, the biggest mistake of all is, now I run an organization and I have a huge team spread across the globe. I have a workforce which is voluntary. I don't pay salary to anybody. My workforce is quite voluntary workforce. And while training and developing and mentoring people and creating a good culture, what I found most of the time, the biggest error which people do when they run their company or their organization, they fail to create a wonderful work culture. What does that mean? Let me give you a study which was conducted in Harvard University. What they did was, they interviewed a lot of employees across the globe and the sample space was more than 30,000. So what they found was quite surprising for all of us. What they found after interviewing people, that 25% people hate their job. Now that's quite a strong emotion. They hate their work. The work which they are doing, they are really not interested. 25% is quite a big number. 56% people are like, if it is not there, doesn't matter. If it is there, doesn't matter. They're like inherent. They're like nothing is bothering them. It means they have no passion or zeal left for the work. Only 19% people actually love their work. Imagine what I'm talking about. Most of us start our career at the age of 25 and we retire at the age of 55. 30 years we are going to work. And what can be the bad news other than this, that in 30 years of work, you don't have passion for it. Imagine dragging yourself. And I've seen umpteen number of people dragging themselves. Why? The reason being, most of us are surviving. And I'll tell you what, this is where the story comes from. It's not your fault, it's not my fault. I'll give a very simple analysis today. The first analysis is, most of us are from middle class family. Just visualize this analogy. If you know a little bit about vegetation, the vegetation of something like which grows inside the soil and some vegetables grow above the soil. Take an example of potato. Now potatoes grow below the soil, whereas let's take example of ladyfinger. Ladyfinger grows above the soil. If you are from a middle class family, you are a potato. Now what does it mean, potato? I'll tell you what it means. Middle class family, by the time he comes out of his college or her college, they already are loaded with responsibilities. We have responsibility of parents, we have responsibility of our education loan, we have so many responsibilities. So we are like potatoes, we are already inside the soil. So that is the reason we cannot even think about our passion, that what we like. We have to just do because we have to do. And that is the problem we are all facing. So what they found, when I was creating my organization was very simple. The only one mission I carried. If somebody in my team is not enjoying the work and if he believes that he can get a better career prospect somewhere else, I always open-handedly told them, please move on. You should not stay and work here just because you have to work. It is the most unfortunate thing which can happen in your life, and I do not want you to get that life. That's the first thing. So then question is, how do you create a work culture which is really inspiring? I can give you 6 points which can help you. Point number 1, the work should be significant. It means there should be a significant mission. You know what mission I carry? See, I was in my corporate job also for some time. As a matter of fact, I have worked till February 5th, 2014. And with God's grace, I was really blessed that I got good companies to work with, and trust me, I learned a lot of things from these companies. The companies which I've worked in are like Qualcomm, Texas Instrument, Cadence, and some good companies, really world-class companies I've worked in. But deep within, after 5 years of my work, somewhere I don't know where I lost the zeal, where I lost the passion. Trust me, I lost it. First 2 to 3 years, I remember I used to get excited to wake up because I have to go to the office. I remember in ARM, my first VLSI company, ARM. I used to wake up with a zeal and I used to leave office by 10:30, 11 because I had so many things to learn. I was like excited how the processor is made, how the chip is designed, how the circuit performs. It was like an amazing thing. But somewhere after 2 years, I do not know what. I did not find a mission where I found all the circuits are same. Why the heck I am wasting my time in office? Somewhere I lost the gist. I lost it. The moment I lost the gist, I started asking myself a question, which is, why are you waking up in the morning, facing the traffic and reaching office after 1 hour? Why? Why did I came all the way from Orissa to Bangalore where I'm not even passionate and I'm not having zeal? Questions started coming. And that's why when I started my organization, the first thing I wanted, and I always want to ask my workers, the people who are collaborating with me, I said, are you understanding the mission which you are having in this organization? We are creating revolution in the world. We are impacting the people. Peoples are impacted, their lives are becoming better. If that is the mission, trust me, you will never get bored. You will always have the zeal to work. And that's what I started doing. The first thing what you need is a mission which is having certain significance. And if that is there, trust me, passion is automatic. And life is too short to work for non-passionate thing. Then what I found, impact people for what? So that they're not. My first mission I took in 2008 was this. I want to empower as many people as possible so that they're not dependent only upon job. What if tomorrow they also get the same feeling just the way I got after 4 years in job? Then when I'm not passionate about my job, but what do? Even if you're not passionate, you have a responsibility on your head. So my mission which I took was, I want to empower people so that tomorrow, if they do not like, they still have a choice for themselves and they can resign the job and do and follow their passion. That's a mission our organization does, and with that mission, trust me, I have a zeal to talk to you right now. Otherwise, why should I invest my time and give something free of cost to you? Because I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate that if you listen to this video and you go through it and your life is impacted, you get a mission, my work is done. The first thing to create a good culture is make sure the mission is significant. Second, there should be great leadership around. Remember, everything is around leadership. Let me tell you a movie. I'm sure you might have a very popular movie in Bollywood, Bahubali. There was a classical scene when this Bahubali was, I'm talking part 1, when he was surrounded by the enemies and it was like they are lost. Bahubali started the classical dialogue of this, Kya hai mrityu? I don't have time to go the whole dialogue. But what happened? That guy was a leader. He took a charge. The whole team was losing. And he said, man, I am not gonna die just like that. I'll fight and die on the battlefield. What happened? Those who were fighting with him, they were at the verge of losing the hope. But by seeing the leader, they got the hope and they started moving. That is what is leadership. Leadership is always visual. Leadership doesn't come by sitting in a corporate table and talking about a vision. That is just one part of the leadership. The real part of the leadership, when things are not happening, the leader makes it happen. And that if there is a culture of leadership in the organization, trust me, that organization will never futile, it will never saturate. This organization will always have a growth atmosphere and people will never quit from that organization. Third thing which you need, value is placed on people, not on profits. Majority of the organization somehow gets succumbed to the pressure of profit, and then they get to a place where they don't think about what is the benefit of the person who is collaborating with me. And in my 11 years of entrepreneurship venture, I have made sure that in my awareness, all the deals are win-win deal. If that person is not getting benefited, we are not going for that deal. I have made sure that this is what I've taken personally. And obviously a big organization, if something has happened without my presence, I do not know. But that's what I've taken for sure. Third thing, there has to be synergy among workers. Now, if these three things, the first three things are taken care, then synergy is automatic output. And what is synergy? When 1 + 1 is 11, that is synergy. Now, what is synergy? Let me give an example, very simple example. You take 2 iron and nickel, whatever, just two metal. One metal strength is assume 1000 psi and another metal's power is 2000 psi. Actually, two of them combined is how much? 3000. But let me tell you, if you merge them, they are no more 3000. They can be 5000. That is synergy. Very, very important. And the fourth important thing is you have to nurture people. Nurturing is very, very important. And when it comes to nurturing, I give you 3 points. Rule of 3. The first rule, help 3 people. I always tell to my team members, help 3 people. If you have 3 subordinates, please help them. Please help them settle in the company. Please help them so that they can grow. Second thing, after helping them, empower them. There's a feeling of joy. I have 2 sons. When they can do themselves, there's a joy. When my son takes a puzzle and initially I train him, after that when he does it, he feels so happy. He's come, Papa, see, I've done. That is a feeling of empowerment. So empowerment is very important. And the most important third, so first help them, then empower them, and then slowly become their mentor. And then pass on the same thing to them so that they also do this thing for 3 people. That is the way I create a good culture. And the last point, if the organization has to be thriving, and if you have to bring a culture where there's a growth around, then you have to make sure that your people are getting success. What is success? They're fighting hard, find some solution for them. See if they are stuck somewhere, see how you can solve the problem. If you're a problem solver, that is the best. So I have covered point number 1, how to create great culture in your organization. Let's take a break of 30 seconds and contemplate this point. I have noted down 6 points, see in your worksheet, note it down, it will help you. See you after 30 seconds. So welcome back. Now let me talk about mistake number 7. This is something which will touch your heart. This mistake is the desire of making everybody happy. Let me tell you one good news. If you are a leader, you cannot make everybody happy. If you are a guy who have vision, you cannot make everybody happy. If you are a person who believes in achieving something great, you cannot make everybody happy. And I'll tell you a 10-step process of going through this cycle, which everybody goes through. Step number 1. You feel, I should please everyone. Everybody feel, I should please everybody. I should make everybody happy. And then what you find, it is extremely difficult to do. So you go to step number 2. Step number 2, what you feel is, I want to please. So now I should got converted, I want to please. What you realize in this step also is, it is impossible, next to impossible. So you go to now step number 3. So I should to I want, then I'm trying to please everybody. Now this is, and you realize this is a very futile desire. It's not possible again. So you go to stage number 4. Step number 4, you say, I'm trying to everybody who is reasonable. Now you started accepting the truth, but you couldn't believe that this is what is the reality. So you go to step number 5. And step number 5, what you see, is there anybody who is reasonable at the first place? And now you reach to step number 6 and you started realizing there is nobody who is reasonable. So 6th step, you say, I am not trying to please anybody. This is a stage where you are irritated with people. I don't want to please anybody. I hate with the world, man. You are irritated. From that, you go to step number 7. So I am not trying to, I don't want to do anything. I say I don't want to please anybody. That is a phase where you are frustrated with people. Still it is not over. So you go to step number 8. Step number 8 is, I should not please everybody. And in that case, you are angry with people. The moment you see people, you are like, heck with it, I don't care. Then from there, you go to step number 9. In 9, I cannot please everybody. Now you have like Gautam Buddha. I cannot please anybody. Do whatever you want to do, I will do what I want to do. And that is the phase, only few people are left, and those are the people who will collaborate with you in your mission. And that's a cycle. So this is the 7th mistake which most of you do. So remember again, I just recall, I should please everyone, to I want to please everybody, to I am trying to please everybody, to I am trying to please somebody who is reasonable, to is there anybody reasonable, to I am not trying to please everyone, to I don't want to please everyone, to I should not please everyone, to I cannot please everyone, finally only few are left, I don't want to please anyone. That's the whole game. So now mistake number 8. This is something which is very crucial, trust me. Now when I'm talking about, don't mistake me that it is only applicable for corporate world. It is applicable everywhere where human beings are involved. This is applicable in your family. Assume you are the head of your family. You are the father of the family or the mother of the family. Who will set the standard of the home? Who will set the standard of your organization? Who will set the standard of a sports team? Assume you are a sports player. Who is going to set the standards? You, my friend, you. Now how do you set the standard? First thing you cannot believe is, the truth is, everybody is not passionate. I told you, right? When so many people are, 19% people only in the company are enjoying the work, it means you are going to face 81% people who are not passionate. And that's the biggest shock for anybody like me who get into a venture and he realizes why people are not passionate. So that will be there. Second thing, you will be surprised, everybody is not effective also. This is another problem you will face. That's why when you set standards, I'll tell you why I'm giving this. Before you set standards, these are the basic bottleneck. Because you will say, sir, I want to set high standards, but you don't understand my organization. That's why I'm telling you, this will be your problem. First problem is, everybody is not passionate, everybody is not effective. And the most important thing is, this is very, very crucial. Performers are difficult to lead, non-performers are difficult to leave. It's a rhyming word. Performers are difficult to leave. Those who perform, they don't listen to you. Non-performers don't quit. Every company want to fire somebody, or they want somebody should voluntarily resign. Performers voluntarily resign, non-performers never resign. That's a problem. So I repeat again, this is a rhyming line. Performers are difficult to lead, non-performers are difficult to leave. Good word to focus. Second thing, in this situation, you will either become depressed, start cursing yourself, or take this baton in your hand. And then how do you set standards? I'll give you something. First thing, when you're determining standards, don't worry about people. Trust me. Now you'll say, what do you mean don't worry about people? I'll tell you why. First, set a standard. I want to get accomplished something. Now that doesn't mean errors will not happen. Let's say I'm doing something in my team. I set my benchmark. This I want to get accomplished. Does it mean everybody will accomplish? No, doesn't matter to me. Somebody will come. I've always found You give an audacious goal, winners will achieve it, they will thrive for it, and whiners will shrink to it. They'll always crib. Don't worry about the cribbers, man. You set the standard first. Second thing, so you must set the standard, you must leave the standards. It means if you're the leader, I told you leadership is visual, so you must set the standard, you must leave the standards, and you must teach the standard by your example. Remember, preaching doesn't help in leadership. It means you have to teach them by your example. Some most important thing, if you do this, you will see some of them will come and stretch. So what is the principle? The principle is, don't set your goal low so that you are targeting whiners. And I told you, right, your ordinary people are more, so you will always have a tendency to set your goal lower because they are huge. Always remember Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. It means 20% people are the only people whom you want to please. What do you do with 80%? Don't bother them. Trust me, don't bother them. You set your standards, and those who want to come up, let them come. Very, very important. Why? I'll give a very simple example. In fact, I'll cover in the later point this same example. Let's take a simple example of rubber band. Have you seen a rubber band? When is the value of a rubber band? If you just put a rubber band, will it help until you stretch it? That is what standards do. Standards will always stretch people. And those who are weak rubber band, they'll break with the stretch. Don't worry, replace those rubbers. And those who are genuine rubbers, they'll stretch and they will grow. Very, very important. Now, let's come to mistake number 9. But before we go, I would say contemplate these 2 points which I covered. 2 mistakes I have covered. The mistake of pleasing everybody and mistakes of setting standards. Take 30-second break and we'll come back again. Welcome back. So now I'm talking about mistake number 9. The mistake of failing to train the organization. Let me give you a study being conducted. High performance organization invest 3.5% of the profit in developing and training the organization. But do you know what? Only very few organizations are doing it. As a matter of fact, let me give you a study being conducted. 29% organizations across the globe only invest 0.5% of their profit in training and developing people. Needless to say, a lot of companies don't succeed in life because of this. Second thing, 29% invest less than 1.5%. So first 29% invest only 0.5%. Rest 29% invest less than 1.5% of their profit. And 21% organization invest 1.6 to 3.5% of their profit into their organization, and the remaining has no clue what they're doing. So it means only limited companies understand the value of training and developing people. So it's not magic. If they will see a growing organization, it is because they have an emphasis on training. And trust me, in our organization, the most important parameter which I set for my company is this. If you do not have a growth plan for this year, I will not allow you to stay in my company. I'm very clear about it. Anybody who comes to me, I first ask them, 2020 got started, I told them, what is your growth roadmap? Even if you're not part of my company, let me give you 2 to 3 favorite book of mine which can help you to grow in your 2020. The first book which I can recommend you this year is 15 Laws of Growth. It is by my mentor, John C. Maxwell. Now I am a guy who has been studying him from last 11 years and I am a certified coach by him. So the book which I am recommending is his favorite book, The 15 Laws of Growth. You should purchase from Amazon. Second book which I can recommend you, 25 Ways of Winning with People. Now let me tell you, these are not the novel which you read in one go. As a matter of fact, the way I train my organization, I give them every week one way and I train them how to talk to people, how to deal with them, one way at a time. So 25 weeks, it means 1 and almost half a year goes in developing them. So that is the 2 books which I can recommend you this year for your growth plan. 15 Laws of Growth and 25 Ways of Winning with People. And obviously, if you want to handle conflict, the third book which I can recommend you is by Stephen R. Covey, the best author ever in the world. You can read his book, The Third Alternative. It will help you in handling conflict. These are the 3 books which I can help you and recommend you for this quarter. Read them. You will be a transformed person. But yes, don't complete them. You can go through it once, but apply 1 chapter a week and see the magic in your life. You will be a growth personality. So 25 laws, 25 week, 15 laws of growth, another one, and third alternative will take another 2 to 3 months. This entire year, if you can complete and put this learning in your life, you will be, I can assure you, 50 times ahead of all your colleagues across the globe. I guarantee you. Meet me up, I'll say you, and you'll say, thank Vijay, you recommended me this. Third thing. Then what are the principles of training? I'll give you 4 to 5 simple principles. Number 1, a training has to be systematic. When I say systematic, first, training is never completed. You will always have a lifelong training program. Second thing, a big picture. I can train you in n number of areas, but what is the purpose? There has to be a big picture. End of the day, what is your profile? Based on that, I'll give you systematic training. Third thing, it has to be comprehensive. Everybody has to be trained, irrespective of the post, irrespective of the position. There has to be a training program for you. Fourth, training has to be modeled. What I mean, I never allow anybody to come and teach bookish thing. As a matter of fact, in our organization, we don't invite any external speakers. We always train people from the in-house things, and I train them based on their expertise. Most important. Then there has to be measurement program. No training is complete if you don't measure them, because just training them, it doesn't help. How do I measure? So I give them project. After training, let's take an example. I train many times sales team and marketing team. I train them, and once I train them, I never complete the training until they learn how to sell or how to create marketing for it. There was no point in training. Theoretical trainings everybody loves. We give them target. If you go through training, complete this live work, implement it, then you are a certified trainer. Otherwise, training has no meaning, folks. Most important than inductive. The training has to be inductive. It means once you are trained, now train one more person at least. As a matter of fact, I always tell them train 3 people. So first you learned, you applied, now train 3 people. You are thorough teacher now. This is the basic principles. So I'll give you a 5-step plan of coaching people. How do you coach? Tell people what you want them to do. First thing. Always remember, because many companies come and they say, you know what, we train them but they're not effective. I always tell them, have you taken these 5 steps into picture? If not, take this 5 steps. These 5 steps will save you years of effort. Number 1, tell people what you want them to do. And in Stephen Covey's book, The 8th Habit, he talks about an amazing study. And trust me, it was very mind-blowing for me, and I did it same in my company, and I found it is true. What Stephen Covey says in that is, he did a workshop, he invited all the CEOs, more than 200 plus CEOs of the different organizations, and he told them, are you sure that your employees are clear about the mission of the project? The answers were quite ridiculous. They said they should be. Some said, I hope so. And a lot of people gave a lot of different answers. So he told them, do one thing. Next day, go and ask all your employees, are they clear about the mission? And all of them did, and they were quite intrigued. Man, they do not have a clarity. And he said, that is the reason. Just writing down your mission on the company board doesn't help. You have to sit with them and explain them what is the mission. So first point, very, very important. If you're at a senior position in your company, try it tomorrow. Ask to your project mate, are you clear about the project? When is the deadline? Why is the deadline? What are we expecting? Trust me, you will be surprised. 80% people cannot answer it convincingly. And if you can do that, you will bless me. Man, thank God you gave me this idea. So first, tell them what they want to do. Second thing, show them a good performance, what a good performance looks like. So how do I train? Take an example. I empower, I do a lot of personal activities with my son. The best way to do is I do some chores. Let's say I help them, let's clean a car. Take an example. I want to train my son how to clean his own car, how to clean his almirah, how to clean his shoes. So what is the best way to do? First what I do, I sit down, I take one shoe for him. I show him what a clean shoe look like. I remove the dust, I show him polish, clean it. So this is a model for him. And then what I say him, this is what a clean shoe look like. You have to do it. And he does it. That is what the second step. It means what? Show them what a good performance looks like. Third point, let them do it. Fourth point, while they are doing it, observe their performance. You have a tendency to help them. You'll have a tendency to solve their problem. Don't do that. Let them do it. Observe them. Then praise their progress. I'm not expecting that anybody can bring results in day one. Let them give them at least 10 failing time. I always tell them, fail 10 times. Don't worry about it. But every time when you fail at the next higher note. Don't fail on the same note again and again. That's the 5-step formula for you. Apply it. Let me know if you used it. Drop down your comment after 1 week of applying it. Don't drop now. Once you apply this 5-step principle in your office, in your workplace, in your family, then drop this message. I'll be happy to see you applying it. Alright? Then the 10th mistake, which I'm talking about right now, is tolerating poor performance. This is something which I never entertain in my company. Now there's a very thin line, okay? When you say don't tolerate poor performance, what does it mean? It's a dual-edged sword. People cannot learn without failing, alright? As I told you last time, if they're failing, I have no problem. That is not poor performance for me. I'll always ask them, if you failed, first thing I'll ask you, what is the lesson learned? And who is responsible? We don't believe in blame game. I always have a transparent thing in my mind. While doing multiple webinars, we have failed miserably. We didn't blame anybody. We sat down and said what went wrong. And we found out a solution. We always did better for it. So second thing. So, don't tolerate mediocrity. People do not automatically rise above a leader's expectation. Remember, if people are performing more than your expectation, probably you are not the leader. Remember, always people should be one notch below your expectation, then only you are the right leader. Otherwise, the leader is somebody else. Second thing, a very good formula. Whatever get inspected, get done. That is the management theory. That's why you have managers whose task is to inspect your work. Leadership is quite different. Leadership believes whatever is expected gets done. That is leadership principle. In leadership, what happens? You have to believe in people, you have to empower them. That doesn't mean every time it will work, but that's the only way you can develop leadership. And whatever gets rewarded, gets done for sure. And I have already in my part 1, I have given an example of a snake and a frog. So go through that, you will learn it. It's very amazing. Now, team leaders genuinely believe that they do not have all the answers. This is another thing if you're in leadership position. Typically, if you're a new leaders are always insecure. They believe they should know all the answers. Let me tell you, in my organization knows it very well that I'm pathetic in 90% things. I'm only good in 1 or 2 things, and those things I'm good in, I only focus on them. Very, very important. So as a leader, you don't have to know all the answers. I always tell them, man, I am not the right person. I always point them to the next person who is good in that area. So leadership, don't get into illusion that you are a Google. Leaders are not a Google. Leaders also, they're leader in few areas. Alright? So very, very important. Second thing, they believe they do not make all the decisions. As I told you, if I'm not good in all the areas, can I make all the decisions? There's a very good book, The Creativity Inc., a very amazing book. This book talks about the story of Steve Jobs, and here's one more person, I don't remember the name, Ed Catmull. Yes, Ed Catmull and Steve Jobs. This book is amazing. You should read it. I mean, it talks about how Steve Jobs used to inculcate creativity. He was not part of all the decision-making committee. He was not. As a matter of fact, he was running 2 to 3 companies, Pixar. He was running Apple, and he was not part of all decision-making committee. So remember, again, insecure leader want everything under their circumstances. They want everything under their pocket. If the decision has to happen, it has to happen by my signature. I always give my team freedom. I tell them, please take responsibility end to end. You don't have to consult me. If you're good in this area, you are the person of point of contact. You take it end to end and don't ask me. That's it. So it means I don't have to know everything. I don't have to make all the decisions. Most important thing. The third thing, they believe that they cannot succeed without a combined contribution. It means if you are a leader, you cannot succeed alone. For sure you cannot. One is too small a number to lead. And the last thing, they avoid any action that might constrain the inputs. It means, again I told you, right, if you are an insecure leader, you always want to tell all the creative ideas that come because of me. It means you'll stop the inputs, and trust me, I have been surprised many times. In my company, many times, somebody who is having 2 years experience, he gives such a brilliant idea. And I never come into ego battle that how can we listen to him. We always tell them, man, this idea seems to be great. Let's implement. Very, very important. Ego is not the predominant thought. If you are to be a leader, ego cannot be a predominant thought. So that's how you can make a good performing organization. And 11th one, manipulating instead of empowering. Very, very important. What does it mean? Empowering people is very difficult. Why? Because if you empower people, they will get all the recognition, they will be able to do a lot of things. Who knows? You might be obsolete. But that is how nature has to work, right? After one level, my son has to be better than me. I don't want to. There is time I'll be there, and there will time next generation is there. And most of the insecure leaders, they don't create the next level of legacy or leadership. It's same true in politics. It's true in organizations. They never create the next batch of leaders. Why? Because they are insecure. If they develop leadership, what will happen to their job? And I always tell to my team, if you are doing the same job for 1 year, you really have to look into it deeply. Why have you not empowered somebody who can do it? I'll give you more new work. Don't worry about it, but empower. I'll give a couple of quotations. The first one, it is in your notes. There is no limit. There is no limit to our future if we don't put limits on our people. Amazing. Written by Jack Kemp. There is no limit to our future if we don't put limit on our people. Second one, sometimes our light goes out. Sometimes our light goes out, but is blown into flame by another human being. Each of us owes deepest thanks to those who have rekindled this light. Albert Schweitzer gave this quote. Third quote, there comes that mysterious meeting in life when someone acknowledges who we are and what we can be, igniting the circuits of our highest potential. Rusty Burkus. And the last is encouragement is the oxygen of the soul. Very, very interesting. Let me give you 3 E's of empowerment. How do you empower people? First one, you need a good environment. As I told you from the beginning, if you don't have good environment, empowerment is impossible. As a matter of fact, environment is incarnational. Leaders do what leaders experience. That's what environment can give you. Second thing, equipping. I already covered in detail what is equipping and why, how do you equip. And it is intentional. Equipping can never happen automatically. Leaders do what leaders learn. Third thing, exposure. Very, very important. If you want to create this culture and growth organizations, you need to expose your people to more better people. I always take my team to somebody who's more successful than them. And I show them, look, there is somebody who's better than us. Let's grow like them. Let's improve ourselves. And that's how you create. The last mistake, this is the biggest mistake which most of us will do, not recognizing the performance. Very, very difficult. Why? You know what? Today we are in a society where you get plaque and trophy just to participate. I remember when I was in school in 80s, there was no certificate of participation. Nobody used to give a medal. You participated. Today, people want a medal just because they participated. Let me tell you, if you are the leader of an organization and you are encouraging this culture that you are rewarding people just because they participated, let me tell you what will happen. You will end up losing your eagles. Eagles and turkey cannot be treated same. Let me give you a very funny example of my first company which I left long time back. We were into one-to-one discussion. And hike came, I got 30% hike, and after a long time I realized doesn't matter what is the percentage, bottom line your salary will increase by 1 to 2 lakh per year, that's all. So percentage is just an illusion. If your salary is less, percentage is higher. If your salary is more, percentage is miserable. So overall 1 to 2 lakh salary increment. So I remember my one-to-one discussion when I left IIT campus. My first CTC was 5.5 lakh in 2008. So I used to go and shower every day in morning. I used to shower and I used to visualize my salary will increase next year by 12 lakhs. And after that it will go to 18-20 lakhs. And after that it will go to 30 lakhs, then 40 lakhs, then 2 to 3 crore per annum easily I'll make. And that's how my aspiration to go to job. And by the time my first appraisal came, I was like, that's it. I couldn't believe it. They gave me 30% hike. 30% of 5.5 lakh is how much? Very good by the way, right? But good is a relative term. When the expectation is your salary will go to 12 lakhs next year, 2 to 3 crore in next 10 years, what happens to you? You're like shock. In Hindi they say, right? Jor ka jhatka dheere se lage. I felt it. And next year I thought probably this is the first time. Second day I got the same. And you know what I realized? Always I used to see the HR telling us this same thing. Average hike is this and you got 5% more than this. And I realized, I know what, I went to that extreme. I said, don't give anybody any hike. Only give 10 performers in the company all the hike. Manager said, your young blood is staying like this. I said, what young blood? If I am working more hard, I deserve all the hike. Why not give me 1 crore and don't give other people even 10 lakh also? This guy said he is crazy. And needless to say, I was a pathetic employee. After 5 years, I left my job and I became entrepreneur. I realized if you reward turkey and eagle the same, you have a choice now, either keep your turkeys or keep your eagle. And I came out of corporate career. I realized I do not want to be rewarded like this. I want to work hard. I want to what I deserve, I should get. I should not get based on the company's packages. I want what I deserve. If I deserve 2 crore, I want 2 crore, man. Come on, don't give me that. And that's very, very important. So you have to recognize performance. So remember this, never get scared. A lot of people are scared. If they reward this guy, what will the other guy think? And the other guys are 90% people and performers are only 10%. And let me tell you folks, one performer is equivalent to 100 non-performers. So never, ever, 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 ever try to please your non-performers for the sake of performers. Even if your non-performers are not liking it, don't worry about it. You still reward your performers. And I'm sure I did a great job today. Apply these 12 mistakes and I'll close you with few thoughts. Quite a few generic thought. We are in January 2020. Let me ask you a few thought-provoking questions in your life. Presently, are you where you wanted to be? If you are, congratulations. I'm so happy about you. Be part of our organization, keep learning and growing. If you're not where you wanted to be in your life, shall I ask a close question to you? Are you planning something to do for it? You say, yes, I'm planning. Planning can never be in paper. Are you working on it? If you say yes, again, congratulations. If not, I understand. Remember my potato example? I know you have a lot of responsibility to shoulder. You're not able to do. And that is why Peak Impact Mentorship was created for people like you and me who have aspirations, who are not having options. Then collaborate with us. Find out somebody in our coaches who can help you to become more better. Do not allow your aspirations to be subdued. Your aspirations are God-given. Fight for it. We are there with you. Don't worry. If nobody is there, at least we are there with you. If your venture has failed, don't worry. We'll give you one more chance. If you don't have finances, don't worry. We'll give you one more chance. We are there for every forum. And our coaches are there from all walks of life. We have empowered homemakers. We have empowered highly educated directors. We have empowered students. You tell me which batch we have not empowered. We have empowered everybody to get control of their life. The word which I use is own your life. In my channel, you go and search this video, Own Your Life, version 2.0. I'm talking about what does owning your life means. Go through it. And also I have given one video, how to evaluate a business. These two things can help you. It was great talking to you. Let us make a great 2020. I'm so happy that I added some value to you. Remember this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you keep growing. And next week, I'm expecting some comments from you after applying. Don't comment now. I want application-based comment. If it worked for you, I'll be so happy that I helped you. It was great talking to you. See you in my next webinar on a very, very interesting topic. I've kept as a surprise. Stay tuned so that you don't miss out anything. See you again.